Man, welcome back to Up Front, our second episode. I'm Corey Homicide Williams. This is my co-host, Nick Medalinos. What's going on, man?
Man, another week. We're back.
Another week, but this week we got some tea, but we also have some wine. You know what I mean? I had to come correct. We don't have a sponsor yet, so I'm not going to show the label. We ain't giving out that type of love over here yet, but I wanted to come in and just set the mood right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We keeping it classy. We got the red carpet on the screen for a reason. You know, I had to get some red wine to match it. What's up, man?
Man.
How was your week?
My week was good. Busy, you know what I mean? You know what it's like, Corey. Out of everyone, you're probably the one that can relate the most, man. NBA season, NBL seasons are on. Like, we go flat chat, you know what I mean? It's always busy, always something to do. Games to watch, games to attend, news to cover. There's always something on, man. So keep them busy. But you know what, man? It's not what I've been up to. I want to know what you've been up to. Right? I want to know what you've been up to, man, because you're the man about town. You're the guy that's always in the news. And I noticed your name popping up in the news again the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it was, you know, a lot of people were talking about last week was a big week, you know, not for the right reasons, unfortunately. But, you know, my comments went all over the place as far as, you know, the release of Craig Randall. And that was the top of the week. And at the end of the week, I was being attacked by a coach. Coach Dean Vickerman of Melbourne United. Where did that come from? Listen, I had no idea that was coming.
We'll get into Coach Vickerman's comments in a second, but I also want to add that, you know, I was in an Uber with you last week, and we were in the back, obviously just driving to our destination, and you were getting phone calls from media members asking you for quotes and asking you for comments about this and that. And listen, you know, the people want to know, right? You know, because you accept the good with the bad, right? Like, you know, you get a lot of praise from people out there, but you get a lot of criticism, all right? I want to know, first of all, like, you know, how do you handle that personally? Does it affect you? Does it, you know, how do you sleep at night? Does you stay up thinking, man, this guy said this or this guy said that, or is it just water off a duck's back?
Well, first of all, you got to have thick skin in this game. As a player, I'll talk as a player when I used to play, right? I played 14 years all over the world, right? And life as an import, I call it, you're a basketball mercenary. That's what I was, right? I lived out of a suitcase, lived in a hotel or apartment. I was contracted to do a job, perform. My job was performance-based, and I only got paid based on my performance. If I did not show up, I most likely, before any other local player, would be fired.
Right.
So when you win games, great job, team. When you lose, it's one of those imports' fault.
Yeah.
That's the job. So mentally, I already was prepared to go into battle. Whether win or lose, I have to produce. That's what the game is as an import. Unfortunately, that's what it is. So mentally, I'm wired a bit different. When I played, there was mortgage to be paid. There was tuition to be paid. Nanny got to get paid. You know, later in life, I had to make sure child support was due.
Yeah.
So I approach the game different. You understand what I'm saying? When it's time to rock, you got to rock and roll.
You've played in a ton of countries, right? Where do you feel the most scrutiny? Where did you feel the most scrutiny from? Like, was it from the Australian market? Was it from European markets, like in terms of media or fans or whatever it may be?
I mean, when I played in Europe, the fans are tough. When I played in the Middle East, they throwing stuff at you. I mean, they'll throw stuff at you in Europe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like...
Shout out to my Greeks. I know they do that a lot.
Yeah. Croatia, like Eastern Bloc, like it happens everywhere. So you just got to have thick skin. You understand what I mean? When you're a local in these countries, put Australia to the side.
Yeah.
When you're a local, you have the luxury because usually you're some of the best players in that country. So you'll always have a job. Imports, you're as good as your last season.
Right.
It's tougher for an import.
Yeah.
If your numbers are bad, guess what? Your money goes down. That team that you are currently with, they're not re-signing you. You might not get a job in that league.
Yeah.
So now your agent got to try and sell your talents to another country. They're going to look at your body of work from last season, and that will determine what your salary will be for the average guy. And that's just what it is. You know what I mean? So if you're playing well, you're going to get praise.
Yeah.
If you're not playing well and being inconsistent, they're going to talk about you. That's just what it is. You're a pro.
Yeah.
You getting paid to hoop.
To do a job. That's
you
right.
got to perform.
Yeah.
That's just what comes with it.
Yeah.
And I understood that as a player. Now, transitioning after the game.
Yeah.
Now I'm
into a media role.
People call me a few different things. You know what I'm saying? They say I'm a personality. They say I'm a commentator. They say I'm controversial. They say I'm a wannabe Stephen A. Smith. They say I'm the fake Stephen A. They say I'm the fake Kendrick Perkins or wannabe Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah. I've seen
Corey
all these
Williams,
names thrown
man.
about.
Like, I'm Corey Williams. I'm just a guy that's direct and honest. You know what I mean? And how could you not respect a guy that's direct and honest? I don't understand.
That leads us to Dean Vickerman's quote, all right, that he had about you. I'm going to read it out now. He basically he said that you try to be controversial for attention, and he feels that, you know, media members should be more sort of balanced and a little bit more positive. What was your reaction when you heard that?
First, I was shocked because I couldn't tell you the last thing I've ever said about Dean Vickerman or that was unfair to his team. I don't even talk about coaches, number one. I don't say anything unfair to teams or to players. I only talk to the best players. I don't talk to players that are not in rotation or get limited playing time or have a small name if I'm not talking about them in a positive manner. I once played. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I already know, like, I don't pick on people is what I'm saying. I don't say things for clickbait. I say what I think. Anybody that knows me knows that this is what he actually thinks. It doesn't matter if it's not popular, what I think, what my thought is. I'm still going to say it. I did that when I was a player, so it's nothing new. It didn't bother me. I was just more shocked, like, damn, Dean, like, where's this coming from? Are you really, I just thought it really was like a deflection due to his team underperforming, and he's hearing it from other places. And when you hear it from other places, you might just go to the main guy.
Yeah, so he's kind of like
Corey,
scapegoating you in a sense.
I'm not controversial. Like, I'm not in my house at no point saying, all right, I'm going to say this because it's controversial. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't operate like that. Anybody knows me, knows how I think. And this is what Corey thinks and believes he's going to say. That's it.
I think it's also, you've got to take the good with the bad, right? And as long as you're speaking the truth and you can back what you say up, right, then it can't be wrong, if that makes sense.
Fam,
right?
You making absolute sense, and that's what I do. I don't just say things off the cuff. For example, since we're talking about Melbourne United, well, Dean Vickerman. His import comes in, Ray-John Tucker, and says, out of the blue, yo, it ain't even Darwin preseason yet. The man comes out and says, I'm the best new import in the league. Nobody checks boxes across, all the boxes across, like he does. He ticks all the boxes. No import doesn't even come close. He's that new guy in this league. I posted his quote, and I just hashtagged NBL23. I went on NBL Overtime. We discussed it. I said, Maybe he is. Yeah. That's why he said this.
That's a fair question.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah.
Good luck. I looked at the camera as I do when I talk to whoever I'm talking to or who I'm mentioning. Here's what I do, why I do this. I'm not the guy to say something about you and don't at you or mention you.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that I'm not going to talk shit behind your back because you're not physically there to defend yourself. That's why I look at the camera and talk to you, because I want you to know I'm talking to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit ain't about nothing personal. I just want you to know this is what this is for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what I said to Ray John Tucker, I said, look, we're going to get to know each other very well. Good luck. In the preseason, Melbourne United have not won a game up until that point. They haven't even won a game at that point in preseason. So I said, there's no doubt you could hoop, but you need to get W's with your production. You're going to hoop. You're going to get yours. Good luck. It's been a turbulent year. I haven't seen anything that he said he can do on a consistent basis that warrants him being, or me co-signing, him being the best new import in league. In fact, he might be like the 7th best, or you know what I mean? So honestly, so I went and said something about that. There is nothing with what Dean Vickerman said that's factual.
Right. So what you're saying is,
to me at least, about me, not at all.
So what you're using it more of like as a motivational tool, though, right? Like, you know, you're saying what you're saying to sort of get him to be like, hey, man, I'm not really performing. I need to step my game up.
That's all I've done every year in this league. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't want nobody to do bad. I want the league to flourish, and I want these players to flourish. And for the league to flourish, these players have to ball out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So just give me dope shit to talk about and just hoop, y'all. That's all. That's all.
Did you when you were playing, like, what's the most, you know, I guess, not negative thing, but what's something that somebody said that really hurt you the most? You know, whether it was, again, media member, fan, or anything like that. Anything spring to mind?
I don't know, because, like, in my mind, I was a fucking rock star. So I already knew what comes with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think it's a part of, like, my culture where we grew up. In our minds, we were kings with nothing. We were kings dead broke with nothing. We knew our value. We knew we were dope. I grew up in an era with Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas, right? These guys painted pictures and showed us things through lyrics and words that made us want more, made us wanted to see more and aspire to be more and carry ourselves in a certain way. These guys were larger than life to us, but at the same time, we can go to the club in areas where they be at. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, if they could do it, I can do it. And it gave us rock star type of confidence, godfidence, godly confidence.
I like that.
So I walked around, I'm a king. And couldn't nobody tell me any different. So you're supposed to get stones thrown at you if you feel confident about yourself. Yeah. So what I knew when I didn't play well, what was going to come. Well deserved.
Yeah.
Step your shit up, Corey Williams. I did that as best as I could wherever I went. You know what I'm saying? So I know what comes with it. And if I ain't built for that shit, I'm going to go get a fucking job where nobody bothers me.
Right. Yeah. No
That's
pressures,
my mentality.
Yeah. And how much of that, look, I know the answer to this question because, you know, as you know, and maybe some of our viewers don't know, but I lived in New York for almost 8 years. So I already know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. How much of growing up in New York helped you develop that thick skin? Because I've seen in New York, you know, you step out of the house with the wrong shoes, you're getting roasted. You know, you've got a funky outfit on, you're getting roasted. So you've got to learn to have a thick skin, right? Because you're going to get roasted. You've got to learn how to take it and also how to give it back as well. How much of that, you know, growing up in New York, did that, you know, developing a thick skin come from?
Yo, you first of all, I'm a black man in the world. You have to have thick skin. On top of that, I'm from the Bronx, New York. And when you think about the Bronx in New York, the joke is that's the dirtiest borough in New York in every facet of the word dirty. In fact, they called it back in the day the armpit of New York City. So there's a certain type of pride that I walk with, right? You better have thick skin or you will get taken advantage of. In fact, show some kind of weakness. It's over for you.
Facts.
Straight up.
Yep.
So like that also, if you are lucky enough to get through the Matrix and out of the Bronx and escape the Bronx and all the hazards that could catch you, you look at life different. And we say it a lot. If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. And that's why these things don't bother me, because I know the maze. I know New York City and what I've experienced in my life that has made the man that I am today. None of this shit bothers me, they say. I don't even know these people.
Yeah.
How can it bother me? It would bother me if I heard something from you.
Yeah.
You know me personally. I would take it personal and be offended.
Right.
I don't know these people personally.
Yeah.
So how can I allow somebody who I don't know personally offend me?
Yeah.
Can't happen.
I hear you. It makes sense. It's just another name on a screen or another.
Oh, yo, listen, at the end of the day, the more success you have, the more jealousy and envy is going to come with it. You know what I mean? That's why when I'm wrong, people laugh so much on social media. They be so happy when I'm wrong.
They love it.
They love it. But that's really the guys that are jealous and envious, right? Because when I'm right, where they at?
Crickets.
There you go.
Crickets.
So, cheers to you all. They ain't bothering me at all. Trust me.
We've spoken about the fans. Did you ever have any, conflict with any, teammates that may have taken you the wrong way or didn't know how to take you at first or anything like that?
Yeah, 100%. But what I had to do is, my ability to be able to, again, read the room. It's KYP. It's Know Your Personnel. Everybody's not from New York. So how I grew up as far as aggressive nature when we play basketball, it might not work with you. I might not be able to get the best out of you with that behavior.
Yeah.
So I can't use that. I'm going to sit down with you and I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to apologize to you if I rubbed you the wrong way. I'm going to let you know that's not my intention. I'm going to let you also know that a bit more about me personally, why I'm this way, and how can we move forward getting the best out of each other?
Yeah.
How can we get this relationship to move forward together for the right reasons and for the right way? Because ultimately, what do we want? The same common goal. Win. Right?
Yeah. It's a team thing.
Come on, man.
It's a team thing.
Man, every country I've been with, you know how much money I spent on my teammates and never got nothing back? I need you tomorrow. I need you to know. Sorry, I need you Saturday. The matchup in order for us to win is a guy you fucking guarding. I need you not only to get off, I need you to lock his ass the fuck up. Then on me, anywhere you want to go, any day this week. You tell me, lunch, whatever, this is your week.
Yeah.
I'm calling the first 5 plays for you every quarter. I'm coming to you. I'm going to defer me. I'm going to get mine. I'm going to import. I'm on the court. I got the ball. I'm controlling the whole game. I'm going to get mine. I want you to know I'm with you this game. It's important.
Yeah, I hear you.
You might not even believe in yourself the way I'm believing in you right now.
But then
you're preparing all week.
Yeah.
I got you. That's the type of shit I was doing because ultimately, forget me personally in that game. I need you, which means I recognize it.
Yeah.
I make sure that rapport and that relationship is there. You know that I believe in you. You're going to be ready to play.
That goes back to that motivating factor as well.
Motivate, impact, inspire, and educate. That's my 4 core values.
Yeah.
It works with all facets of life. Keep going.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's the motivating thing. Like you're pushing them to what buttons to push to get them better.
I done been there.
Yeah.
I done been there. There's nothing nobody could tell me about this game. I done played it everywhere. You understand what I'm saying? I don't say nothing bad about a person on purpose. Like, I don't with malice, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not coming with malice. I'm coming from a good place.
Yeah.
Sometimes the shit might be harsh. That don't mean you don't need to hear it.
Right.
You may need to hear it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And I'm not coming, boom, off the cuffs with something. I'll sit back and watch for a while. So when I come, it's because of the right reason why I'm coming. You know what I mean? That's how I do it.
Has anything you've ever done, again, media, could be while you were playing, whatever, like come back and not affected your family, but reached your family where they've been worried about you? They're like, yo,
Not at all. Listen, let me explain something to you. Let me explain something to you. Number one, playing in the parks in the city. We go out of state. We would play in some dangerous places. You know what I'm saying? We used to travel out of town and go play in Philly. And my man, you know, it would be a couple of us.
Yep.
Me and Bone Collector in the backcourt. And it's some dudes down in Philly getting money, bringing us down to playing a game. Big money on the line, side bets. We got people with us with weapons because it could happen to protect us.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to me here? I'm playing ball. And like, it ain't that type of play. Like, I've been in serious situations playing basketball in the street. This is pro. This is nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I done had some of my people go sit down for 10, 15. Real shit.
Mm.
This is nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What do I want? Like, nobody's coming to me in that kind of manner. That's an old life, but I'm just trying to tell you mentally, like, this alligator skin, man.
Yeah.
I'm not, and again, I'm not saying that to glorify it, but I'm just saying, like, I've been in some real life situations. And we won. Got the money. Had a couple bottles of champagne. Partied in the city.
And dipped.
Met a couple of, shorties. Enjoyed the night. And then we dipped out.
Yeah.
We was good.
Yeah. I love how
Many cities.
I love how you mentioned that you won, though.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's light work.
Light work.
Light
All right.
work.
We're going to take a bit of a break, Corey. We're going to get into some fun stuff in the next segment because we've got the Corey story. And I know you got a good one for us today, and it's definitely one that I haven't heard. I've heard people alluding to it. So I'm looking forward
Has
to this
he?
one.
He's been alluding to this thing ever since I came back last year.
I'm looking forward to this one. We're going to take a break. We're going to be right back. All right, we're back. It's time for the Corey story. And like I mentioned, this is something that has been alluded to for the last week. People have been telling me, Corey's got a great story. It does involve an NBA superstar. I'm not even going to say who it is. Corey's going to tell that part. But Corey, come on. Like I said, I've heard people alluding to this all week. I've heard sort of little teasers. It's like when you go see a movie and you only see a little trailer. You don't really know what the full scope of the movie is. Let's hear it. I want to hear this thing.
All right. So I'm with it's Fashion Week in New York. All right, September. Fashion Week's a really good time in New York if you've never been. It's one of the better times actually in the city. It's the wind down. Summer's ending. And there's a couple of runway shows. There's some incredible after parties. Everybody's in the town. Models, everybody. It's just a beautiful time in the city. So, me and, my boy, White Boy Ben?
No.
You don't know White Boy Ben? All right.
I remember a guy called
Shout out to White Boy Ben, right? And so I'm in Tribeca. We just came from a show in Tribeca. He has a loft across the street. Fire, right? So we in there and just chilling for a little bit. Crew comes together. After that, we go to Cipriani's downtown. So then we go to Soho. We in there grubbing, and in Cipriani, when we finish, there's a club upstairs, super small. That shit might hold, no lie, packed like sardines, maybe like 100 people.
Okay, that's tiny.
That's tiny.
Yes, especially for New York.
Tiny.
Tiny.
So, like, there's a back way through, if you know, there's a back way through Cipriani to go up the steps and you go in. Like one time, like we saw Leo, like we in there eating and shit. And Leo just comes in with his hat down, mad low, walks in. Leo DiCaprio, right? Just goes up like regular shit, right?
I love how just casually you drop that name in there.
I mean, regular shit, right? So we all go outside and they're like, yo, Corey, this shit is a private joint tonight. Da-da-da-da. So I'm like, let me ease off this door. You go talk to the doorman. We'll be in there shortly, as they say every night, if it's, a private joint or whatever. Next to me, maybe like 4 feet away, 1, 2, maybe like behind you.
Okay.
There's a dude, every hooper with a magic, no ball in his hand, just doing a move slow motion, and I'm there,
Wait, he was actually in the club going through.
No, we outside in
okay,
the front,
yeah, got
right?
at the front. Gotcha, yep.
My man, white boy Ben at the door talking to his man, whatever.
So he's on the street, like.
Because he waiting to get in too.
Yeah.
So, outside was a zoo. You know them type of nights.
I do.
A zoo. So he doing, and I'm like, I recognize, and I'm like, recognize him doing the move, because that's like true baller shit, right? I was like, oh, you ain't getting that shit off. He looked at me like, what? I said, you heard me. You ain't getting that shit off. He said, come see me tomorrow. You know where I'm at. I said, as a matter of fact, I don't know where you at tomorrow. He said, and then I started antagonizing a little bit. I was like, I'll lock that up one-on-one. He said,
that's the New York coming out of you.
He said, yeah, my competitive juices came in.
Yeah.
So my cousin Dwayne is with me, right? So he goes, what? I said, listen, if game is 10, I'm winning. He said, game is 10, I scored 10 straight on you. Yeah. I said, the So at this point, my cousin is like, yo, what's your name? He was like, Ja Morant. I said, oh shit. Matter of fact, you would score 10 straight on me. I said, I fuck with you. I said, yo, fam, you got game. I fuck with you, man. I fuck with you. I said, yeah, man, respect, you heard?
So you're telling me that
I had no idea.
The top 5 point guards in the NBA
no idea.
was on the street, and you're telling him you're going to lock him up, and you had no idea who he was.
Oh, he was like, yo, you come see me tomorrow at 10 if you want. You know where I'm at. I'm like, as a matter of fact, I don't. Because, in the days, they be working out with Chris Brick. You know what I'm saying?
Brick,
so that's what, he was in town working out and shit. Going up trying to catch a vibe upstairs or whatever. So I'm like, as a matter of fact, I don't. He was like, my cousin Dwayne was like, yo, what's your name?
I can't believe your cousin didn't even recognize him.
Yo, listen, man, like, I'm focused on NBL.
Listen. I like it. Touche. Listen,
Yo,
I like
I
it.
was like, you would give me 10 straight. I fuck with you, though.
This is giving me big Shaquille O'Neal energy, right?
Word?
Because remember when Shaq...
Oh!
Remember when Shaq didn't recognize Christian? He said Christian Wood. He didn't know his game. He apologized to him later, and he was like, "Man, I owe you an apology. I wasn't really familiar with your game. I think you owe Ja Morant
wild as shit.
an apology."
Wild as shit ever, yo. Ja, my bad, B. That shit was wild as.
Hey, I think the only way
never, ever forget. That shit was funny as.
Ja, come down to the NBL, man. That way Corey will know you.
Word.
Yo, that is wild, man.
Yo.
That is wild.
Dude was like, man, slow-mo by itself. I was like, you ain't getting that shit off.
But
He was
yeah.
like, what? I said, you ain't getting that shit off on me. He said, I said, matter of fact, you ain't getting that shit off nowhere.
Yeah, you know what this reminds me of? That last part. We were in New York and we went to Dwayne Wade's book launch.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And it was you, me, and Six,
Okay.
another friend of ours. And look, I'm going to be real. I'd had a couple of drinks at this point, right? So me, Corey, and our friend, we're just standing there. And D Wade's like right opposite us signing, books and meeting people. And I had a couple of drinks and I was like, I was just to Corey, I was like, I can take him. And Corey looked at me and he goes, no, you can't. No, you can't. And I was like, yeah, maybe I can't.
Oh, man. So. Oh, man. Nah, that Josh shit, that shit was funny.
That's
fuck.
crazy. That's you
that
know
shit
what?
was
That
funny
was
as fuck.
definitely worth
That shit was funny as fuck.
that was worth the build up that I've been hearing.
That's when they lost to Utah, and he gave them everything.
Gave him the business. Yeah.
We talked about that. And shit.
That's great. I don't know how you're going to top that one next week, but I'm sure you're going to go deep into
we got
your
some
bag.
more.
I'm sure you're going to go deep into the bag. You've definitely got some more Corey stories for us. I'm definitely looking for the next week's story already. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to be right back. All right, we are back, Corey, up front with Corey Williams. Now,
Yes, sir.
I saw yesterday you posted on your IG because this is, we want people to feel a part of this,
100%.
They've got questions for you that they want answered. It could be about anything. Life. Bit of basketball, obviously. Fashion, sneakers, it could be anything. We want people to feel comfortable sending questions through, and obviously you're going to answer those to the best of your abilities each week.
Shout out to the fans, man.
Yes, absolutely.
Much love. I appreciate y'all. I just want you guys, ladies, males, females, to feel a part. I'm here to spread the love. I'm here to talk about life and experiences in every way, in any way I can help. Whether a heavy subject or a light and funny subject, that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to serve. Keep them coming.
Absolutely. We got some really great questions coming through.
They
Like
piled
you said,
in, huh?
They piled in.
They piled in. Shout out to you all, B.
And we've got a good mix here, man. Corey,
Yeah.
like you said, we've got some serious questions. We've got some fun questions. You know what, man? Let's just get straight
do
into
this.
it, man. Let's start, all right? We've got one here from Peter Mann. This is a good question as well. So Peter says, what is it about US basketballers that makes them want to stay in Australia, especially after their careers are over?
Here's the biggest thing. As a former import, the reality is this. I played 14 years abroad. When I go back home to America, I'm there for maybe 3 months max. I'm there to visit family, reset, talk to my agent, figure out what the offers are and the options are on the table, make the right decision, pack my bags, and I'm off again. What happens is, if you're lucky, you can spend a certain period of time in one specific country. You get familiar with the country gets familiar with you. If you're there for a specific period of time, that means you've had some sort of success in the country. You become, if lucky, a household name. Brands want to align with you. Your value in that country is technically higher than it would be for most imports if they go home. All right? Let me give you an example. Do you know why commentators in America, pro athletes in America, a lot of them might get on television after their career's done, if they're lucky? Because their body of work is on American soil. So your value is higher where your body of work is. So it would make sense when you're transitioning after the game to put yourself in a position where you can thrive and life can be a bit easier. I don't care if you got $100 million or $1. The transition is very difficult for athletes after the game, regardless of what line of what line of work you are in as an athlete, what sport you're in. Most international, I'm going to talk about overseas hoopers, and I want every hooper to listen to this. When the game is over, majority of us, first of all, as an international hooper, import. There's no 401k, which is superannuation. There's none of that. You get paid a salary, and what you do with it is on you.
Right.
When it's all said and done, most international hoopers as imports, we rocking this thing till the wheel falls off. Majority of us, right? You've done one thing your whole life. When the off season happens, what do? You go home, you kick it, you see friends and family, and then you reset and go. You have set no seeds in the ground on U.S. soil. That's why most of the hoopers, when they go home, you know what they do? Two things. Trainer or coach. That's not because they want to do that. That's because they feel that's the only thing they can add value to immediately. The name of the game is add value. If you don't add value, you ain't got shit. If you ain't got no leverage, you ain't got shit. That's life, right? So they're not looking. They're busy running all the way back home and not really understanding that you're a superstar in the country you're playing in. Why not figure out where you add value at the most and how you could really maximize opportunity for life after the game? You understand what I'm saying? And that's what guys don't really do. For me personally, here's what happened. I left. I was 5 years removed from Australia. After Australia, I went to the Middle East. What happened was I came over here because I know people want to know, like, how did Corey Williams end up being one of the most prominent voices of basketball in Australia? How did he do this? Outside of Corey, tell me a brother on television in Australia. This season 6, he's himself. He looks like himself. He talks like himself. He hadn't conformed, and he has the ear of basketball culture in this country. And he's moving the needle and pushing the culture and the game forward. How has he been able to do this? I don't even think people even know that's the question that they really should be asking.
I think that's actually one of the questions we've got coming up a little bit later from somebody else.
The point is, Australia, let me get to this answer.
Yeah.
Australia's a beautiful country. People are awesome here. It's a great vibe. You feel at peace when you come here. You know what I mean? You really, really do. And you're appreciated a lot. Any country where you've had success playing a professional sport, you are privileged. And with this privilege will give you a lot of access that you probably never would have had you not played that professional sport and had not thrived in that sport. So it's going to give you access and opportunity. So the ones that stay here figured it out. You know what I mean? We could have been in Antarctica. You know what I'm saying? It just so happened Antarctica's cold. You know, you probably would have ran back to where you're from. But here it's warm, it's beautiful, and people are very nice, man. It's easygoing. You know what I mean? And
not much of a culture shock, you know.
Yeah, it's not. Really... People speak English, and it's an easy country to get around, and it's beautiful, nice people here, man. That's why.
Well, right now I think Melbourne is probably as cold as Antarctica.
Man, it is freezing outside.
So, you might be better off down there. Listen, we're going to move on to the next question, Corey. We've got one here from Rooster Parrish. Now, obviously, we know South Bronx is the home of hip-hop. That's where hip-hop was invented. He wants to know, what was the hip-hop scene like for you growing up?
It was incredible. It was pretty much like the birth of hip-hop started clearly in the 70s and the 80s, but like hip-hop as we know today, how it's grown to be the #1 genre in the world music-wise, it was in the era where I grew up. So I had an opportunity. It's the golden era. I grew up where, again, who's your best MCs? Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas. Like, I'm in parties with them. I'm at street ball tournaments where they're at. They influenced my life. It was a beautiful time to be a part of New York City music culture, hip-hop culture. I literally grew up with them. Like, my brother, best friend at the time was Mace. Like, Mace used to sleep at my house. My brother used to sleep at Mace and Cameron house. You know what I mean? They played in high school together. Shout out to Manhattan Center. Shout out to Mace and Cam. Like, they played ball together.
Yeah.
Mace and Cam was hoopers before rappers.
Yeah.
So Big L, we on the block, 143rd and Lenox. I went to Rice in Harlem. Shout out to Rice Raiders. Shout out to Harlem. I'm a BX cat, but Harlem raised me. So all of these hip-hop artists were friends of ours. You know what I mean? Allies. It was nothing. Like, if you go to any basketball game in Harlem, ain't no telling who you're going to see.
Yeah.
So this is what we grew up in. We grew up in it as it became what it became. You understand what I mean? So, like, that, it was a special time. And to see hip-hop form and blow up to this global phenomenon that people thought would be a fad, it's incredible, especially when you are a part of it. Back in those days, I grew up in the 90s. Some of the most iconic clubs I was in high school.
The Tunnel.
I was in the Tunnel. That's basically what people know in the world that's called Studio 54. That's what the Tunnel was for hip hop. Everybody was there. The line would take 3 hours to get in. 3 hours, unless you're going to pay $100 to get in. In the 90s, you know what $100 is?
It's like $300
in the
now.
90s? That's a couple grand. You know what I'm saying? Like, you walk in there, like, you coming out with 10 phone numbers. If you working, I might not see you the whole night and you in the spot. That's how big it was.
Yeah.
The Fever in the Bronx. That's where it all changed for me. It was a legendary, it's an iconic club in the Bronx called the Fever. Walking distance from my house. We went every weekend. We went on Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays. Back in them days, if you get in early, it's free.
Yeah.
So we lining up at 8 o'clock. We got $5. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You split like a Boone's Farm, or you might split some of the 40 ounce. Back in the days, the 40 ounce liquor. Get some of that. We in the club.
Yeah.
Dancing. Man, it was a beautiful time, man. It was. You'll never see a golden era ever again, man. It was beautiful.
Yeah, for people like me, obviously I've grown up, listening to hip hop and stuff like that. We used to hear about stories about the Tunnel, about all these sorts of places. But the fact that you got to live it, man, that's wild.
Let me tell you, I'm gonna give you a quick story about the Tunnel. Every artist had to come there to get approval, and that was the hardest crowd to get approval from. They brought Wu-Tang Clan in there. They brought the Wu. First of all, we from the Bronx. What rap group? It sounds like a Chinese name. Yeah. Wu-Tang Clan is a hip-hop group of brothers? Where's that at?
From Staten Island?
From Staten Island?
Yeah.
We don't rate Staten Island.
Yep.
You can't be a hip-hop group, all brothers, and your name is Wu-Tang Clan. Like that, it didn't even add up. As soon as they got on stage, that was the first crew that had like 50 dudes all rapping. We like, boo, we throwing stuff. We're throwing stuff at them. I'm in the crowd. Yeah. Boo, get the fuck out of here. Boo, Wu-Tang Clan, get Staten Island, get them out of here. We don't even rate Staten Island. Yo, they came back maybe like a month later, and they had Protect Your Neck. That was the song. Or, yo, Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Wu-Tang, yo, oh my God, they tore the Fever up.
Yeah,
like that was the place you had to perform for people to know you real. Shout out to the Wu.
Shout out to the Wu.
True story.
And
ask anybody. Listen, Onyx. That's when the whole first of all, shout out to the Run Brothers. That's the crew that raised me, right? From my hood in the BX. We all went and got bald heads after Sticky Fingers from Onyx came through. He was the first DMX. He was DMX. Like, I wouldn't say before DMX. God bless the dead. Shout out to DMX. But Sticky Fingers was grimy. They came. Oh man, like just man. Let's get to the next question. Just know that it was. We'll never see a '90s era of not just hip hop music, but you're watching the blossom like it was a seed just blossoming out of the ground, man, growing into something we didn't know what it was going to become. Yeah. Like that era was incredible. I was in high school. It was incredible, man.
Well, the next question.
Shout out to the 90s, man.
The next question is kind of in that sort of vein. We're still talking rappers. We've got a question here from, and I hope I say your name right, Iman Elliot Nazari. He wants to know, who are your favorite rappers of all time? And he also asks, what are your favorite movies of all time?
Whoa. Wow. All right. In no particular order. Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas.
Yep.
Puff. Cash Money. Snoop and Dre, what they did out in the West. And I'm going to tell you why. What they did for inner city youth, because of their words, they made you see and dream of wanting more than what we were around. These are all guys that came from low-income housing. Poverty. Let's just say that. Poverty. Like me. So it's like they inspired everybody to want more, whatever your more is. You know what I mean? For example, like Jay-Z had a line like, you'll see as you go through the source, I read the Rob Report. And it's like, I'm in high school, like, what the fuck is the Rob Report? Damn, this when magazines was like big back in the 90s.
Yeah.
So it's like, I got to go to the newsstand and go figure out what the Rob Report is. And once I figured out what the Rob Report was, I was like, the Rolls Royce? Yachts? Art? He was talking a different language because he saw more. Exposure leads to expansion.
Facts.
So once it's no different than reading a book. That's what hip hop was for urban America. It's an audio book. That's what it was.
I've said that as well. It's like, for me, it opened my eyes to a whole bunch of stuff that I wasn't really exposed to. Right. You know, like stuff that I wasn't. Some stuff I could relate to, other stuff I couldn't. But it opens your eyes and you learn. And if you don't know about it, it's like, oh, what is this? You go do a bit of research and you find out exactly what they're talking about, what it is. Now,
what's your top 5 MCs? Or top 3?
I'll give you my top 5, and I'll give them to you in order as well.
Oh, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Because they haven't changed, right? They haven't changed. Now, as you know, New York, was obsessed with New York even before I moved there. You know, I do consider myself a New Yorker, so you'll sense a bit of a theme in my top 5.
Right.
Top 3 in order: Jay-Z, Fabulous, and Biggie. Okay. I'm not saying they're the best 3, even though I do think Jay is the best of all time. That's my top.
Hope the best.
Hope the best. And then to round out the top 5, I'm going to put Rick Ross in there because I can listen to Rick Ross all day, every day. And number 5 is
Boss.
Equal 5th. There's 2 guys there. As you know, I'm a big Dipset fan. So I'm going to put Killer
Shout
Cam.
out to Killer.
Killer
Capo.
Cam. Yeah, and Kappa. That's my equal 5th.
No doubt.
That's equal 5 for them.
Jewels.
I wasn't such a big of a fan of Jewel's solo as I was of Capo and Killer.
Yeah.
As a trio, obviously untouchable. You know, great.
Right.
One of the all-time great groups right there. And I know you know both those guys, Killer and Capo.
Yo, listen.
So, Yeah.
I'm gonna keep that story. I can't give y'all all the stories. That's what's up. Oh, I gotta say the movies. So there's Casino.
Yep.
Love Jones.
Yep.
I'm in love with Nia Long till this day, right? Belly. Scarface.
Okay.
Blow.
Yep. Shout out to Johnny Depp.
There's too many. I can't.
You got Goodfellas in there. That's my favorite of all
A
time.
Bronx Tale.
Bronx Tale.
Like, oh man, Training Day. Malcolm X. All Spike Lee movies.
Yeah.
Man, that goes on and on, man. I hope I answered enough.
Yeah, we've definitely got enough there. All right, C-Dub, we're moving on to the next question here. Like I said, we've had some great questions from people. Keep them coming, guys. You know, we want you to send them through at Corey on his Instagram. Even send them through to me.
No doubt, please.
And I'll pass them along to Corey. We'll pick out the best ones. We're going to move on. We've got one here, Corey. Do you think Craig Randall can turn his attitude around and become coachable? That one's coming from Dean Williams.
100%. Everybody has the potential to do it and be better, you know. If I mess up, I have the potential also to take the harsh criticism when I'm wrong, and I do, and I reflect, self-reflection, and figure out how to move forward to be better. So I wish him the best.
Absolutely. This one comes from Nay11, and the question is, what is the mindset you require to make it at the highest level? That's a good question.
Well, it is a real good question. And look, you can make it. Can you stay there? And can you ascend while you're there, right? And I think that, first of all, you got to have a no plan B mentality. You got to be all in. You got to sacrifice. You got to put your craft first. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, really, how would you guard yourself? How would you keep yourself from not scoring? Keep yourself on 0. How would you defend yourself? If you can answer those questions, that's the shit you need to be working on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Play off him. He can't shoot. Work on your shot. You got to want this shit more than you want to live. Straight up. You got to sacrifice and you got to focus that kind of way. You have to want to succeed more than you want to live. When you get to that level, you'll become successful.
I like it. And you've been telling me that one for years. There is no plan B.
Yo, listen, man.
I'm used to hearing that one from you.
With me, I was literally willing to die for this shit. And I was willing to kill for this shit. That's the type of mentality you have to have if you are not the favorite. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Outside of that, go get you a regular job. And ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm just telling you the type of mindset you have to have.
Yeah.
And when you have these opportunities, you got to capitalize on it. You know what I mean? Like, there are no second chances.
Yeah.
If you are not the favorite, you got one shot.
Like Eminem said, you got
Facts.
one shot.
You got one shot.
You got one shot.
So what are you going to do with it when you get the opportunity? Yeah. And every time you get one shot, you got to maximize that opportunity and kill it to get another opportunity. This shit is real, man.
Absolutely.
This shit is real. Nobody don't believe in you. You got to believe in yourself. And you got to keep finding ways to continue to move forward and capitalize when you get opportunity. Shit is real, but that's what you got to do.
Great question there from Nay. All right, couple more, Corey, and then we're going to end it there. We've got a couple of fun ones to finish it off with, all right? We've got one here from Alexandra. Now, I think this is for both of us because she says, how do y'all handle the groupies? I can answer. I can answer that. I can answer that for you right now, Alexandra. I don't have any, so no one's jumping in my DMs, unfortunately, or fortunately. Take it however way you want. So we're going to throw that one over to Corey.
Can you say that again?
How do you handle the groupies?
Okay.
I like how you got to pour a drink to answer this one.
How do you handle the groupies? Well, this depends, and this is I'm talking to everybody out there that's in the light. especially the inexperienced ones. This is tricky. The more the light is on you, you're under that light, they coming. You know what I'm saying? You could be ugly, but if that light on you, they coming. They coming for the access. They coming to, get points off of you to make themselves look good. They coming to use you. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be careful. You got to be mindful. You got to know who's really for you. And you got to know who's there to use you.
Yeah.
Now, if you're not experienced in life, you won't know. You'll actually think like they want you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's why it's important to have experienced people around you to help guide you through this. Because if you ain't never had this experience or this type of attention, you're just going to be happy that, look, groupies don't be ugly all the time. Let's be clear. Groupies, some of these groupies, they got it going on. So you'll be happy to get that attention and it's over. It's over. Like, they got you.
You fall in love.
You're done.
Yeah.
You need experienced people around you to identify groupie behavior. And that can help you recognize it, understand it for what it is, and you know how to deal with it better. But you got to be able to identify it. That's why you need a good friend, a good mate.
Yeah.
That's been experienced. You know what I mean? That's why it's good to hang with older people because they can help guide you through this because it could be trouble as well. You know what I mean? Like, I was smiling earlier, but like, that shit could lead to trouble.
Facts.
You know? That's why I'm very grateful for the Run Brothers, my brothers from the Bronx. Like, I was taught a certain type of education on how to handle certain things, and I've been in certain experience, like there were certain experiences I've been in where I could see that shit coming from a mile away. How I deal with groupies, I say, listen, I've been under this light for a long time, like, so I'm experienced is what I'm saying. With or without the light, like, it's enhanced me, but I'm experienced, so I know how I can see it coming.
Yeah.
So I just deal with it head on. Be like, yo, what's up, man? Talk to me. What you want to do? I ain't a sucker. I ain't a clown. You want to be cool? We could be cool. If not, keep it moving.
Yep.
But I'm not that guy. Matter of fact, buy me a drink. Straight up.
Hey, it's 2023. I'm with that.
2023? We can go back a few years.
Yeah.
Like, straight up. I just want you to know, respectfully, I respect what you on. I'm not that guy. Keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? See you, what's up? You good? From a distance. Ain't no hugs. Ain't no photos. Ain't no kiss on the cheek. It'll be a fist bump. You good? All right, cool. She can't say nothing bad about me because I ain't say nothing bad about her. But we got that understanding. I'm not that guy. Got to be stern like that.
I like it, Corey. Last question. This is actually my favorite question out of the lot for today.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
Let me hear it.
There's a young lady called Philly, all right?
Philly,
and Philly says...
What's her Instagram?
Philly says, are you single, Corey?
Nah, I'm off the market. Got me a beautiful woman. She's pretty dope. So things are going really, really well, and I'm off the market. Sorry,
Philly, he's off the market. I actually, believe it or not, I think she might be happy with that answer. All right, Corey, this has been fun as usual. We've got to wrap it up for this episode. We're going to be back in a couple of weeks, though. But in the meantime, what do you got coming up, man? I know you're going to be out and about. You're going to be hitting the streets. Tell us what you got going on.
Well, busy week. We had a week off due to the FIBA window break. Some really, really big games happening in the NBL. Sneakerland is in town, a big sneaker convention, the biggest sneaker convention in Australia. So I'll be checking that out by way of Foot Locker. So going to see what kind of fire that could be picked up.
Yeah. I think I might join you.
Yeah, you should do that.
Yeah.
You should do that. And that's all, man. You
Yeah.
know, just laying low. Yeah, right. I got some. Listen, we're going to keep that off camera, but next time you see me, we'll have something to talk about.
I have no doubt whatsoever.
Nick, always a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, my bro. My fans, our fans, Upfront fans, we appreciate you. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for listening. I hope you appreciate us. We didn't get a chance to answer all the questions, but we will get to all the questions. Trust me, I promise you, we're knocking them all out the box. Like, subscribe, share, and follow us on Insta. Nick Metalinos, @Nick Metalinos, @C Homicide. This is Upfront. Peace.